And out front now, spokesman for the State Department, John Kirby. John, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Today, you described it as leverage. The question also to you today, though, was you wouldn't give Iran the money until they release the prisoners, and you said correct. That seems pretty close to the definition of ransom. How is it not?
Well, it's not ransom for many reasons. First of all, this was Iran's money. It was money that was awarded to them by the Hague Tribunal. It was a process that had been working independently for many months prior to that. Number two, the way I think ransom works is you have to pay first and then you get your hostages back, and that's not what happened here. We got our American citizens out first, and then, because we wanted to make sure we had the leverage to get them out safely, then the $400 million that was Iran's was released to them. But look, I mean, this was really something that happened over many, many months, and it did kind of come together simultaneously, and we felt like we had to take advantage of the timing here to make sure that we got our American citizens out safely. And that was always the top priority. The other thing I'd say, Kate, is that very little of this story is new. The president himself, when we got the Americans back, came out and publicly talked about how these processes came together and how we tried to take advantage of them.
But to your point, if it wasn't ransom, it was announced in January. We all know that. It was cash owed to Iran and a deal gone bad during the overthrow of the Shah. Did it become a ransom payment when you feared, as you said, that the Americans wouldn't be released if you let that money enter Iran?
No, again, I think, the way the ransom works is you pay first and then you get your hostages. That didn't happen. But again, this was money that was theirs. And this was, when it all came together, we knew that this would help us with a little bit of leverage. And actually, we wanted maximum leverage, and we felt that this would assist us. You know, when people talk about a quid pro quo here, the only real quid pro quo with respect to the money was the Hague Tribunal's decision that this money was owed to Iran, and so that money was then given to Iran.
But no matter if money was changed first and then the hostages were handed over, I think if you're two people staring each other down, whoever steps first, it doesn't really matter. The fact that it was exchanged, it was held and exchanged, and that's how it had to happen for fear you weren't going to get the result that you wanted to get, that sounds like ransom to a layman.
I can understand why people might think that, and people are obviously entitled to have those views and those opinions. But the facts are clear. The fact was that this was Iranian money that had been awarded to them by the Hague Tribunal. The fact is that in a separate process, we'd been negotiating for the return of our Americans, and nowhere in those negotiations, Kate, not one time was in that discussion a payment of any kind to get our Americans back. The negotiation process that led to getting those citizens back had no discussion and talk about the payment of money in any sum or in any form or fashion. But when the lines all came together right there in January, in a very short 24-hour or so period, it would have been foolish, we believe, for us not to hold on just a little bit longer to make sure that we had the right leverage to get those Americans out. That was the priority.
John, a different topic, but happening today.